Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Saggy, this is for you. But remember, they're general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody. That is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, you have, that card seems to want out. What are you? The Hierophant card. Okay, so look, this week, I don't think this is going to be a crisis of faith. I think it's going to be a test of faith. In all of these different areas of life, it really is going to be about, I was going to say how much you want it, but I don't think that is the case. I think it's more a case of how much you believe you deserve or can have it. Now, remember, this card is about the structures, the routines, the rituals. It's about society, the oligarchs, corporate, all of those, and even religious structures. It really is about the bigger, larger structures that make up our world. And so in all of these different areas of your life, you are being encouraged to look at how strong your foundations really are. How are they how are they standing for you and supporting you in some way or not, as the case might be. All right. So look, I like this, but I do think that it's going to be, your faith is being tested, right? And also so is the validity of the structures that you've built up in your life. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Two of Swords. It is possible that you might have a bit of a it might be possible that you have a little bit of a battle on your hands this week between your head and your heart. Right, so it may very well be that your faith and your gut says, look, do this, but the smarts and because Sagittarius are very intelligent people, very fun, very jovial, very larger than life, but make no mistake, they are sharp mentally. Right, so if you're a cross watcher, stimulate the mind as well as the body. This Two of Swords, though, it's like your head and your heart are having a bit of a tiswas. And so what I urge you to do is to really think about where it is that maybe you can find the best of both worlds in terms of the options that are available to you or the opportunities that are arising. I really will say you have to fight for it. Right, there's a message here that you'll have to fight for it, because the Two of Swords will sometimes show up as an opposition, and so maybe your faith and your heart are telling you one thing, and the smarts and the numbers and the facts and figures are saying something else. I'm all for miracles, right? But as I say here in the Radiant Nation, we love the woo-woo. I'm all about the woo-woo. I built my whole business on it, for crying out loud. But we keep our feet on the ground. All right, for your communications and conversations, you've got the Two of Cups. So what do we see here? We've got two twos. Two twos represents a bond, a pact, or an accord. Because this shows up in your career and your academic sector, there are potentially new contracts to be signed. There are new conversations to be had. There are new partnerships to be forged, which is absolutely brilliant. With the Hierophant card here, though, the foundation that those new connections are built on will have to be absolutely solid. And because it's the Two of Cups, it has to feel right. This is where, right, and I can see it now, literally, right? Your head is saying one thing, and your smarts and your intelligence is saying one thing, but your heart's saying another. In this case, the Hierophant, look to your systems. Look to what you already have in place that either works or does not work. What is not working or needs adapting, change and adapt. What is already working. If your system says this is a great opportunity, if your system said, let's say your heart says, this is a great opportunity, I want to go for it, this person seems genuine, but you run them through your personal system of vetting them, or whatever your process might be, and that comes up as a no, then it really is going to come down to, it's a judgment call that you have to make, right? Only you can make that. But if it's just it feels really good, and then your system kind of backs it up, then that's a right thing, right? If your system says no, absolutely not, but your gut says yes, Or let's say your gut says yes and your system says yes, but there's still something that you can't put your foot on. Trust your intuition. Now, for those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, if you're single, this week could actually reveal somebody to you within your study group and or circle who kind of has a crush on you, right? Or certainly there's an inkling there of some sort. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, having a look at the systems and the structures that are in place now within the scope of your job, because they are about to come up for change. Stuff that's changing will probably be things that you've said to yourself for a long time need to change, but now that it's happening, you might be a bit sort of perturbed because it's like, okay, well, this is happening and it's not happening in the way that I envisioned. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, really your heart has to be in it. Whether it's a collaboration, whether it's, you know, a larger institution hits you up and says, we'd really like to collaborate, will you come work with us? You know, all the stuff, whatever the case might be. I gotta say, there will be some adaptation that needs to happen to your current systems. But again, like I said I think it was Libra, right? You take what is already working and you leave it in place. You just perfect on that. You don't reinvent the wheel. You just perfect the wheel. That's all we've done, right? No matter how fucking Elon Musk, Cybertruck, you know, 100 mile an hour on a motorbike, all the rest of it. The wheel is still the wheel, right? Whether it's made of rubber, silicone, some fucking space metal, whatever the shit. Right? Do you know what I mean? Like, yes, great, wonderful. Technology, all of it has advanced incredibly. But the wheel is still the wheel, all right? End of. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, this will be a familial tie and or commitment. And it's one that I personally feel like you might want out of. And maybe, just maybe, you're given the opportunity to wiggle your way out of something this week. For your love and relations, you've got the Magician card. If you are single, you could be connecting with someone this week. You've got the Magician card here. Remember, it does have an element of being the trickster. And it could be somebody that really likes to be in charge. If these are traits that you're already noticing very early on, and they're not, like lots of people say, like, oh, if somebody who always wants to be in control, or, you know, they're not, if someone's overly forceful, obviously that's a red flag. Not everything that you're told nowadays is a red flag. If someone is ambitious, that's not a red flag. If they're willing to throw you under the bus for that ambition, that's a red flag, right? There are people out there who can still be good people and be very ambitious. So I'm not saying like, oh, you know, what I am saying is if you can see now at the very early stages of a relationship that somebody can be duplicitous or that they are willing to do things in the grey area, you need to look at that, right? A red flag is a red flag, but you have to make sure that it is one. All right, like as I say, just being ambitious, that on its own is not a red flag as far as I'm concerned. In fact, if somebody doesn't have any ambition, they don't have any drive or any passion, miss me with the bullshit, right? Straight up, I am not interested. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in, look, this is like a very sweary rant today, Raf. I know the Saggies are out there like, fuck yeah, for those of you. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, this with the Hierophant card, something about the relationship and sharing personal power is, you know, and you can't both steer at the same time. And so there's going to potentially be quite an intellectual conversation this week about, you know, well, we've usually done things like this. Moving forward, things are shifting. Are you going to be able to relinquish the wheel from time to time? Are you going to be able to hand it over altogether? There are a lot of things here that do need to be really sort of looked at and reconsidered. And I actually think that you'll get round to it. I think this could be great. I think you'll be able to open up a really strong dialogue that could have some wonderful effects for the future. For your money and materials, you have the 9 of Pentacles. Look, whatever your financial situation, my advice to you would be this week, spend a little of that money enjoying yourself, right? Even if whether you're saving for a house, whether you're aggressively paying off your debt, whatever your situation is, whether you've got a little, whether you've got a lot, take a small portion of that and do something that for you represents luxury, supporting yourself, looking after yourself, doing something nice for yourself. For some people, it's buying a small piece of jewelry. For others, it will be a massage at the spa. For some, it will be a road trip to whatever, or a holiday, or whatever the case might be. But I do urge you this week, as a part of your system, whatever that might be, is to enjoy the fruits of your labour thus far. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, the Nine of Pentacles is your digestive system. You've got this with the Hierophant card. Switch up your diet. Yeah, that's really what you're being urged to do here. And then when it comes to your home and environment, the Nine of Pentacles, home could be where you end up spending a lot more money than you expect to this week. So if you're going out to any form of a showroom to pick out your kitchen or to your bedspreads, all the rest of it, watch out for this, because that Nine of Pentacles, I'm telling you, you will spend way more than you expect. I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying, outside of that, do indulge for yourself as well. And, for some people, indulging in the home is indulgence for them, so it's down to you. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.